Welcome, everybody, to episode 38 of the Canuckleheads podcast. Shout out to Victor Oreskovich. I bet you don't remember him. So, my name is Justin. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Wes. Let's talk Canucks. November 13th, 2022, Vancouver in Boston. Thatcher Demko and Linus Ullmark get the start. Andre Kuzmenko is scratched. Sheldon Dries is in. In the first, we had a fight. Kyle Burroughs and Nosek. Nothing really happened here. Burroughs threw a hit on Pasternak, and this was just a response from Nosek. Then we had a power play goal from JT Miller on the breakaway with a great backhand forehand move, tucks it past Ullmark. Great breakout pass from Quinn Hughes, assist to Hughes and Besser. So Bess kind of getting another one of those quiet assists and
sneaking him in.
Quinn Hughes getting a loud assist. You don't see breakaway power play goals too often. Then we had another fight. Vasily Podkolzin and Greer. Good on Pods for standing up for himself. He got busted open, didn't come back for this game. And then he did an interview today. We're shooting this November 18th, 2022. Dirty shiner. So you can see why he didn't come back. I'm assuming his eye was probably swollen shut and he was cut open after the fight. So
yeah, he had some zips on the top.
Yeah. This was 2-1 Boston after the first. And this was 4-1 Boston after two. Tyler Myers took two terrible penalties.
Pretty much lost us the game.
Yeah, only one of them cost the Canucks, but still. Then in the third, we had a power play goal from Sheldon Dries. Comes in from the corner and the shot goes off Ullmark's stick and in. Unassisted goal. This was a 5-2 loss. I said the Canucks were going to win 3-0, and Wes said they were going to win 4-3. So we were both wrong. This one kind of left a sour taste in your mouth, because it's the Bruins, but also just the way things have been going.
The dumb penalties are what's really killing us.
And I don't know, it just felt even more negative, right? Like just kind of bad loss after bad loss after bad loss, and then you throw in a loss to the Bruins. It
stings.
Yeah, it was tough to see hard to see if the team could turn around and just find anything positive, because Thatcher Demko was pretty good in this game. Just, the Canucks took so many penalties, and Boston is, I believe, the highest scoring team in the NHL. If not, they have the best goal differential. Yeah. So let's go to the next game here. November 15th, 2022, Vancouver at Buffalo. Expansion cousins meet for the second time this year. Spencer Martin and Anderson get the start. Kuzmenko was back in. Will Lockwood was in. Jack Stanika was injured. Vasily Podkolzin was out with a facial injury, which we found out today what the deal was there. Yeah. We had a goal from Dakota Joshua from the slot on a great pass and effort from Will Lockwood to get the puck over to Ahmed, who feeds Joshua on front. So this is the first career NHL point for Will Lockwood. So young William, congratulations.
Yeah, big congratulations. And played with a lot of fire in this game. He was very noticeable.
Yes, and we'll get to that later on too. Then we had a goal from Ethan Bear with a wrist shot over the blocker. Nice tip pass from Bo and a good play from Garland to protect the puck and pass it to Bo, who passed it out to Ethan Bear. Yeah. So Bear's first goal as a Canuck.
We're starting to see a lot better passing plays.
Yes. Yeah. And a great screen from JT Miller in front too.
Yeah. Beautiful screen.
Yeah. So this was 2-1 Vancouver after one. We had a goal from Elias Patterson, tips in an OEL point shot right after a penalty to Buffalo expires. We had a power play goal from JT Miller, who beats Anderson over the glove right off the face-off. So Bo gets the only assist. And
it kind of looked like a set play. Miller was standing right where the draw was won. Yeah. They've definitely practiced that, and JT makes no mistake.
Yeah, and then just in my notes here, this wasn't even in the third. I have Will Lockwood was having a game.
Sure.
Halfway through the seconds, he had an assist. He had a big hit. He drew a penalty. He was blocking shots.
He looked awesome.
He did look awesome.
And it was funny because earlier in this season, we were saying, where's the Will Lockwood from last season?
Yeah.
Here he is.
And he was brought up from Abbotsford on a roll. He was putting up points. He's this, coming in with confidence, probably the most confidence he's had. Yeah. And it was great to see. He played a great game.
Yeah.
I think he's only played 15 NHL games, but this is easily his best one.
Oh, 100%.
Then we had a power play goal from Bo Horvat on a breakaway again. Beats Anderson blocker side. Great pass from Besser to send Bo in all alone. Assist to Bess and Petey. Again, not so quiet assist from Besser this time.
Yeah.
But this was 5-3. Vancouver after 2. Canucks win at 5-4 because they can't not make it close. It's the Canucks.
Yeah.
My predictions for this, I said 5-4 win for Buffalo. And Wes had 4-2 Canucks. So combined, we got it right. And then we will go to our last game of the week, November 18th, 2022, LA at Vancouver, so back home. We're shooting this a little bit early. This is right after the game.
Yeah, so we're a little fired up.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to do this right after because this game is fresh, right?
Yeah.
So you can remember more like little details and everything.
Yeah.
Thatcher Demko, Jonathan Quick at the starts. Reverse retro jersey night. Curtis Lazar is back in the lineup.
Yes, sir.
0-0 after 1. In the second, we had a goal from Petey, who beats Quick under the glove and over the pad. Great play by Ilya Mikheyev to get the puck off a lost face-off in the Canucks zone and then skated it out. Send a pass over to Kuzmenko, kind of on the corner and then along the boards, and Kuzmenko throws ones out to Petey in the middle of the rink, and Petey doesn't miss.
Nope.
Then we had a power play goal from Brock Besser. Sniping 101, Professor Besser. Finally, with a tap-in. Assist to JT Miller and Quinn Hughes on this one. This was like a Andrei Kuzmenko copy-paste.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Yeah, great pass from Miller. It completely fooled everybody on the ice, including Wes and myself. We weren't on the ice, but we were fooled.
Yep.
This was the Canucks kind of standard play. Quinn had the puck. It went over to Petey, back to Quinn, to Miller. Miller missed a shot. Petey to Quinn to Miller. Miller was skating in again, and we were like, oh, same thing.
A shot.
And then, great pass to Besser.
And it was the way he skated in and just loaded up on the stick and everything.
Yeah.
Made it really sold that shot and passed it straight to Besser's tape. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and great to see from Besser. Like, you could see immediately after he scored, like, the massive smile on his face. And, Bess hasn't been playing, like, horrendous. He hasn't been playing great, but you could tell this was a big weight off his shoulders.
100%.
And then we had a goal from Elias Pettersson with a great cross-seam pass from Kuzmenko again. After a massive shift from the Canucks. It started with the fourth line, just kind of winning board battles and throwing pucks on net and getting shots, and then eventually, they change out, and out comes Petey, Kuzmenko, and Mikheyev, and in the back of the net.
Yep.
Assist to Kuzmenko and Hughes on this one. So this was 3-1 Vancouver after the second. In the third, we had a goal from Brock Besser, who taps in a Sheldon Dries shot that hit Quick and then kind of went up and over him, and Besser smacked it in out of the air and into the empty net. Canucks win this one 4-1. This was a great game by the squad, except for Tyler Myers and Riley Stillman, who we have dubbed that pairing as the hand grenade pairing. They were just coughing up pucks, middle of the ice, behind Thatcher Demko. Be like, hey, surprise, Demers, stop this one.
Yeah. And Demko shut the door all night long.
Thatcher Demko was great in this game. He has been, personally, I think he's been good for a while. Yeah. It just seems like he never got a bounce.
Past couple games, he's definitely looked like he's on the road to becoming, the goalie we've seen in the past few years. And, just Stillman and Myers, man. Just
a bad night from those guys.
And just a rough pairing in general. Why are those two guys playing together? I have no idea.
And especially, like, Wes and I were talking about this during the game because, of course, we were. Like, Kyle Burrows, the night before in Buffalo,
played a great game.
And played the most minutes of any defenseman in the third period, and then gets scratched as a reward for Riley Stillman, who's...
How does that make sense?
Yeah, who's throwing pucks up the middle like it's his job. Like, he's a forward for the opposing team.
Makes zero sense.
And we always hear, like, Burrows is a right side, left side guy. Well... Play him on the right side if he fits too, right? Like, get one of these guys out of here.
Yeah.
The Stillman-Myers pairing cannot be a thing.
No. It was bad all night. I really liked OEL Bear.
Yeah.
Quinn and Shen doing their usual work. But
they are.
That Stillman-Myers pairing is absolutely atrocious. Thank God Demko was damn near in final form tonight because had he not been, this game would have been a different story.
And there were a lot of scrambles, like loose pucks where, Demko was on his back one time, or like he tried to cover a puck up like 3 times, and it just like sticks kept getting in the way. And
Drew Doughty has a fit.
You think like 2 weeks ago, all of those were in the net.
Yeah.
Tonight, none of them went in the net.
And that just shows you Thatcher Demko looks tight right now.
Yeah. So score predictions, Wes said it was going to be a 3-2 Canucks win. I said it was going to be a 3-1 Canucks win. So Canucks.
You were closer on that one.
I was. Canucks this week go 2-1. So not bad. Won the week. No games Saturday or Sunday this week, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer, but also kind of nice. And lets us do the podcast a little bit early so we can enjoy a full weekend.
And I don't know if this is our first 2 wins in a row yet or not, but it kind of feels like it because we have not strung together. It might be,
yeah.
We have not strung together many wins. It's kind of win-loss, 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 loss-loss. So.
Yeah. But yeah, this game, this was probably the Canucks' best game of the year.
100%. We played 60 minutes tonight. We needed to play 60 minutes for the entire season so far, and we finally pulled it off.
Yeah. And we were joking, too, at the end of the second. It's like, well, the Canucks are up 2 goals. The Kings have them right where they want them, right? And that wasn't the case. Like, yeah, LA had some pressure, but they're a good team, and the Canucks scored the goal. They didn't give anything up.
No.
Thatcher Demko was solid. Made so many just positional saves.
I wanted to just make a big emphasis on that. Thatcher Demko, man. He played absolutely amazing tonight. You didn't see the arms out like this. Everything was just tight and in position. He was constantly tracking the puck. He looked amazing.
Didn't even have to get a haircut.
Yeah. I thought that's what it would take. But hey, he proved me wrong. Attaboy Thatcher Demko, tip of the hat.
Yeah, and now hopefully it's, again, like...
snowball effect.
Yeah, and like, he was so solid this game that hopefully... I doubt that the team lost confidence in him, but now it's just another building block of like...
Yeah, they see it every day in practice. Yeah. They know who Thatcher Demko is. It's just... in game, it's nice to get those reps in and get those low scoring games in because
and just get rid of that vibe that's around you, right? Like of where pucks are just going in no matter what. Like
because before tonight he hadn't let less than 3 in, I think, in a single game, right? Yep. So it's nice to have that 1 goal game, shut the door type of game where it's like nothing's getting past them. Just feels good.
Especially tonight too with the hand grenade pairing. Not doing him any favors.
0 favors. Like Thatcher Demko looked amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, like this, it's so nice to see, especially for my fantasy team. Because my boy just got me another point there. So.
And I've seen some people were dropping Thatcher Demko in fantasy just because it's been a rough start. Yeah. But I mean, you have to just weather the storm, man. Yeah. Thatcher Demko is going to come back.
But yeah, just like all around a great game. Yeah. It's shocking that the Canucks won this. A, it was reverse retro night, and B, Wes and I watched it together. The Canucks never win either of those 2 things. Yeah. So like this was like a double hex we had, and I guess it countered itself. So
no more pizza during games, just wings.
Just wings. Wings and Orange Crush. That's the ticket.
Orange Crush, baby.
We'll have to do that for the next reverse retro game.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get on to some news here. November 15th, 2022, the Canucks announced Jack Studnicka was placed on IR with a lower body injury. Will Lockwood was recalled. November 17th, the Canucks announced forward Karl Plasek has been loaned to the HC Olomouc, I think is how you say it, in the Czech League for the remainder of the season. I'm not really even sure who Karl Plasek is, to be totally fair with you, but it's good that he's going there to get some playing time. November 17th, 2022, Curtis Lazar said that he's day-to-day, and it was basically up to Bruce when he played. Wound up playing in the Kings game. Looked really good.
7 hits in the first 2 periods.
Was flying out there, drew a penalty, big hits too. It was
difference maker.
Didn't miss a beat.
Nope, 0 rust.
And then one weird thing, November 18th, 2022, Will Lockwood was reassigned to Abbotsford. So he didn't get another chance after his really good game, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it is. Him, Amand, and Joshua looked amazing.
They did look really good.
And then you just go ahead and break that instantly. Like, give the kid 1 more game at least.
Especially when you can swap Dries for Lazar too, right? And put Lazar in. a third line role, which I think he's capable of handling too.
Which, granted, Dries had a great game.
Dries did, he did play good.
But I mean, it would be nice to see Will get another game in a row in.
Yeah, and like especially to kind of send a message, right? Like, hey, you play this good,
you can play.
You earned another game, right? Not like, oh, here's Curtis Lazar, you're gone.
Yeah, here's the best game you've played so far. Now you're, you know what I mean? Yeah, not a good look.
It's just something that
it's like Burrows. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Burrows really deserves a couple games in a row here. Like, obviously, Will Lockwood, it's a little bit easier to slot him in and out, but Burrows, man, that one was a kind of a knife in the back.
There's never a reason to take him out of the lineup. Nope. He never has a bad game where you're like, Burrows needs to sit. He's always good.
Always an energy guy, always brings the physicality, always brings the fights, never backs down. I don't see why he's out of the lineup.
Yeah. But yeah, Kyle Burrows should be a staple in the lineup until he plays himself out, which I don't think he would.
Stillman just played himself out.
Big time.
Big time.
And it's clear that there's name status on the Canucks, so Myers isn't going to get scratched. OEL's not going to get scratched. Like,
it seems like we're just trying to sap Myers of everything he has left while we still have him. But there's not much there. Stillman and him, that's the grenade pairing. 110%. They should never play a game together again. Put Kyle Burrows in over Stillman any day of the week.
Yeah. Like, Burrows usually plays the left side. That's an easy swap. Like, easy. And I don't mind Burrows with Myers because Burrows is the stay-at-home guy, right?
Yep.
Myers is going to think he's a forward a couple shifts a night. So, which he did on the 4-on-1 goal, actually. Jumped up immediately, which was not the wrong thing to do.
No, he had body position on the one guy.
It's just easy to pick out because it's Tyler Myers.
100%.
So yeah, let's. It's kind of going to be a quick podcast this week. Like we had the 3 games. Good to stack some wins.
Yeah.
As tough as this season has been, the Canucks are not out of it yet. They're, I believe, before this game they were 6 points out of a playoff spot. There was only 1 game tonight, so they're 4 points out of a playoff spot, which seems insane to me. I figure it feels like we should be like 12 points out.
Yeah, no, it feels like it's been an extremely rough start, but you see a lot of teams, they start out hot, then they start to do poorly. So, I mean, if we start out kind of poorly and finish strong, I'm okay with that. We did it last season. We didn't quite make the playoffs, but I mean, hopefully this year, like, you can already see it. We're making progress. We're playing better. Tonight was the first 60 minutes. Yeah. Let's do that more consistently, and I think we have a good chance.
And especially against a good Kings team too, right? Like,
they're no joke.
I think LA played the night before. I think they played Edmonton yesterday night, but that's still a good team.
100%.
And like, they had their moments, but everybody was just so good in this game, minus the hand grenade pair. Like, this was such a solid team game. Like, OEL was fine. Like, he didn't look like he was struggling.
I feel like with Bear, he's kind of re-energized a little bit. He knows he has to step up when he's in these pairings, like when he's playing top line minutes, and he always steps up when you give him a new pairing. So, and
in the Buffalo game too, Boudreau kind of changed some things around with his D pair, right? Like, OEL didn't play the last 3.5 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say he finished at like 17 on the night or something like that.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes played a bunch, but that's what Quinn Hughes does. Myers didn't play a bunch, which was the right thing to do.
100%.
Will Lockwood was in like the last 5 minutes.
Yep.
The Canucks up by a goal, like killing, and like out there, like
get rewarded with ice time.
Yeah, being trusted by the coach, and like, you know, he didn't blow a lead or anything. No mistakes. So it's good to see Boudreau kind of change some things. It's always like there's some other things that should change, but it was just nice to see that, right? And like, again, Wes and I talked about this earlier. I'll take OEL at 17 minutes at 90% instead of OEL at 24 minutes at 50% or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, you want to see him fresh. I like how they've been playing Quinn a little bit less too, because he's a little bit more fresh when he is out there. You can't dog these guys for 25 minutes a night every night.
And like, that just shows the importance of Kyle Burrows again too, right? Like, if you can play him 7 minutes in the third period, you can't do that with Riley Stillman.
No.
It's gonna cost you.
110%. I was shocked that we didn't have a goal scored on us tonight by those two, but it was because of Thatcher Demko.
Yeah. And like, it's just such a weird thing, right? Like, Kyle Burrows gets all this gets this reward of playing the most minutes and then gets scratched. Like it
makes no sense.
Yeah, like I understand we just traded for Stillman, but I think we've seen enough of what he is.
3 games off minimum for Stillman. Sit his arse down, bring Kyle Burrows in, give him a 3-game stint, see how he does.
Yeah.
He has been great thus far. Play him for 3 games straight.
Yeah. Let's go over some score predictions this week. This is actually kind of a pretty tough week for the Canucks here. Monday, November 21st, Vegas is in the house. The Golden Knights always play the Canucks well. It had been Marc-Andre Fleury for so long, then it was Leonard, and now...
And we just played our first 60 minutes, so we're coming off a high.
Yeah, a 2-game winning streak. You can't have a winning streak without winning one. So it's nice to stack some wins here.
Yeah.
What do you think the score is going to be in this game, Wes?
Vegas looks unreal right now, but I say it's another high scorer. I'll go 4-3 Vancouver Canucks because we just played 60 minutes solid. And I think if we can do that again, which saying 3 goals gets let in, that doesn't mean our goalie played bad. It just means the Vegas Knights are really good.
They are a very good team.
They're going to score some goals.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, Thatcher Demko might still be living in their heads.
What if he just shuts the door off?
That'd be pretty awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I'm going to go 4-2 Canucks.
I like that.
And another thing that we should talk about that was important too is they won that game in Buffalo to not go into a hostile environment at home. You win that game, at least that buys you like
some respect.
You're not getting booed immediately.
Yeah.
Like if you have a poor start, then it's going to happen. But the crowd was into it all night too tonight. Like so, it was nice to see that.
And like funny enough, like everyone was talking about how hot Buffalo started. Now look, they were on like a 7-game losing streak here. So it's funny the ups and downs you can go through in a season. I feel like we're on the up and up right now.
Hopefully. Then Wednesday night, November 23rd, we are in Colorado to play the defending Stanley Cup champions. Gonna be a tough game.
That's gonna be a tough one, yeah.
I think that's where the 3-game winning streak comes to an end. I'm gonna give this one 5-2 Colorado.
I like that. We're in Colorado.
In Colorado, yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely gonna be a tough game. Let's hope Thatcher Demko shuts the door, baby. 3-1 Vancouver Canucks. I'm going for straight W's.
And then Saturday night, November 26th, we are in Vegas. So a weird little home and home with Vegas during this week. What do you think the score is going to be in that one, Wes?
This is the first one I'm going to predict an L, just because Vegas at home. It's going to be a good game, though. 3-2 Vegas.
I agree with Wes. I think that's going to be the score in that one. Yeah. I think at home we might be able to steal one from the Knights.
Yeah.
And in Vegas it might be a little bit different. Who knows?
Yeah. On the road.
Yeah. Canucks do play Sunday, but we'll cover that game before the game.
We'll see if we get demoralized by Colorado heading into Vegas.
Yeah. That's a tough week.
Tough stretch, man.
Vegas, Colorado, Vegas. That's hard.
Yeah.
You kind of just gotta hope for a win.
Yep.
And like maybe an overtime game or something. Like
hope best. You see us rocking the best and the PD tonight too. 4 goals combined tonight. Let's go.
But yeah, and then like even just looking at the schedule, like so Vegas, Colorado, Vegas this week. Then we play San Jose the Sunday after we play Vegas, which will be tough. Like San Jose is not a great team, but Erik Karlsson looks like it's 2015 all over again.
Yeah.
Then we have Washington, Florida, which will be tough games.
Yeah.
And then we got the Coyotes on Saturday night, which, thank you.
Wash,
but,
yeah.
You know what? I'm not even going to trash talk the Coyotes.
Hey, no, but Garland and OEL always try to prove a point. 100%. They always throw pucks on net, and they always try to, get a couple digs in. So I think that's an easy W. But.
Yeah, so for like the next 2 weeks, basically, you got to just... I know you have to do it for the whole season, but this is one game at a time kind of thing, right? Like,
don't get too low on a loss.
You very easily could go into that San Jose game 0-3 for the week, So it's like, be a tough stretch. Like that's a hard 2 weeks there.
Yeah.
And even like we said, like the San Jose game, that's not a softball because you play them on the second night of back-to-backs.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like it's a lot easier to hate on the team when they're playing consistently bad hockey. We just seen a full 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So now we know we're capable. So if we take a couple losses here, it is what it is, and we can move forward with more confidence than just giving up games second and third period, just throwing games.
And with how crazy the Pacific is, like, it seems like every day I sign into or I'll log on to TSN and I see like, oh, the Flames are struggling, the Oilers are struggling, and like now the Kings are struggling a little bit.
That's what we need.
All these teams ahead of us, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, let's do our Canucks of the week here. Wes?
I think you're going to think it's a little bit of a curveball. Maybe not. I'm going with JT Miller. I haven't given it to him yet.
It's a little bit of a curveball.
Man, he's been freaking great. Honestly, people say, oh, goals against, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? He threaded best for his first goal of the season, and he's been doing that. With Andrei Kuzmenko, he's definitely setting things up better on the power play now. He's not being so obvious with his little cute drop pass to Quinn Hughes. He's fixed some holes, and he looks great. And I'm pumped for JT Miller. And just wanted to shout out Ethan Bear in this LA Kings game. Looked great.
It was really good. Won a lot of board battles like he always does.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's really starting to like find his stride with the team too, right? This was his 9th game tonight. He's got a goal and assist. Like,
I feel like the OEL pairing is kind of a money pairing for him.
And they're gonna play a lot of minutes too. So it's important for him to be good, and he has been. Like I've really liked his game.
Yeah.
For me, my Canuck of the week is Elias Pettersson.
And that was my other one.
Yeah.
Like Petey, he's just been great.
Played 3 games this week, has 4 points. What more do you want? And is playing complete games too, right? Like he's making defensive plays.
100%. He's the hardest working guy on our team right now.
Yeah,
shift.
We noticed that multiple times. Like he played with Kuzmenko and Mikheyev again, and there's one shift where Mikheyev and Kuzmenko were both kind of lollygagging in the neutral zone a little bit and gunning it to try and get the puck. Like,
pumping those skates, baby.
And you love to see it. Like he's so driven. And I think last year's start has been such a blessing in disguise for him because he's so motivated to never have that happen again.
Yeah, he learned a lot from that, and he learned how to get out of that. So he's buzzing, and you can definitely see it. And I've given it to him like 4 or 5 times already. So I was like, you know what, JT Miller, you deserve some love because you've definitely gotten a lot better.
And we're really starting to see the full evolution of PD's game too, right? Like this is like sky's the limit for this kid, especially like if he's just scratching the surface of his defensive game, like
which he's like our best penalty killer right now. It's crazy.
He was so good this game. He was in control of the puck, making moves. Like his first goal against Quick was just a absolute snipe.
Yeah.
His second one was just
wide open net, but he made no mistake.
Yeah, like a lot of guys might shoot that over the net, or like you hit the goalie trying to make a desperation
stick right at mid level there, like shoot it off the stick. Like,
no like hot shot celebration or anything. It's just like I'm Elias Pettersson. This is what I do.
Business. And I feel like he was owed those goals because he's played so hard in these games and hasn't been rewarded with goals. So to get a couple goals tonight, he definitely deserves them. Brock Besser, so nice to see him get a couple. Holy smokes. You've seen that smile on that first goal.
Yeah. You look at his kind of just looking at his point totals now, right? I think he had 9 assists coming into this. Now he leaves with 2 goals and 9 assists. And just, I don't know, it feels better.
100%. 0 goals doesn't look so nice, especially at the contract he's on. Now, a couple goals in one game, I think he just starts ripping that puck.
Yeah, it's very important for us that it's like Besser starts doing this consistently now.
And we got to talk about that attempt for the hat trick, that frickin' whiff of a shot he had. Holy smokes, man. He tried to put that through Quick's head.
Yeah, Besser wanted to put the entire force of the universe behind that shot. Just whiffed pretty hard.
But honestly, his timing on his 1-Ts all night was off.
Yeah.
So I feel like just get Elias Pettersson passing you one-timer passes all night in practice. Or even after practice, just practice your one-timers for a bit. Get that timing back. Because obviously his hand was injured. He wasn't really able to even make a threat with the 1-T. But now you see him trying for it, and he doesn't have the timing. So
we haven't, I think this This is the first game I really remember him like hammering a, or trying to hammer
a puck. Honestly, even last season, because the back injury, wrist injury, whatever.
Yeah.
Lots of injuries. We haven't seen him put that much emphasis into a shot in a while, and he tried to kill that puck.
And it was the same thing with Petey tonight, too. We saw a one-timer finally. It seems like it's been a while.
Yeah.
And like just they need to get in their rhythm.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about either of those guys because they will, as long as Besser keeps shooting, which hopefully he does.
Which it was funny because I was kind of knocking the Besser, Dries, and Hoglander line when we first started. But then you see it start to pay dividends by the end of the game because Besser knows he's the shooter on that line and he has to shoot the puck.
It is a very weird line, especially because the way the injuries have worked for those guys, like the fourth line is set, right? Bo, Miller, and Garland are playing together. Petey's playing with the Russian wingers.
Yeah.
Those guys just feel like the leftovers where Bruce is just like, go.
Yeah. But it worked.
Yeah. And now we get to the tough point, too, where who comes out for Podkolzin? Yeah. Or when does Podkolzin get back in?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially since he hasn't looked that great. I was so glad he got involved and got in that scrap, and I was proud of him, too, because he definitely didn't have to do that, but he was sticking up for himself, and he looked a little wild in that fight, but I was so proud of him for doing it.
Yeah, and it kind of, you have to stand up for yourself, right? Or people are just going to kind of bully him his whole career. So.
And we always talk about if you're not scoring, make a difference somewhere else.
Yep.
He did that.
Yeah.
So you got to put Pods in the lineup, and it's definitely going to be hard to find a spot, but I mean, Hoglander, him, it's...
And like, especially like Dries had an assist.
Yeah.
He has
Dries had a solid game tonight.
He had a solid week.
Yeah.
And gets some power play 2 time, like, so Boudreau clearly sees something there.
He's winning faceoffs, man. Yeah, Bose can't be the only guy who does it.
Yeah.
We got to have somebody else.
But yeah, it's very clear that Boudreau likes the game Dries brings, and if he's at center too, that's just another like tough spot to take him out of.
Yeah.
For me, I would like to see him come out and bump Lazar up to the third line center.
You got Laser and you got Amand.
Yeah, and then you could kind of put Hoglander, Pods on the fourth line.
Yeah.
Because he can play that style too. Physical, energy, like skating, like, and maybe he gets going too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
put him in that, like, look at Joshua.
Yeah.
He's been put in that position and he's scored some goals.
And you see too, like, it's kind of Amon and Joshua have been the two because Lazar's been hurt.
Yeah.
So you've seen him work with Lazar. You've seen him work with Lockwood, right? Like, clearly there's something between those two that just is working, right? And, you throw a good veteran player like Lazar on there, it still works because Lazar's smart and plays a similar game to those guys. So
100%.
That's kind of the lineup I would like to see to, like, the next game against Vegas. I'd love to see Burrows back in.
Stillman out.
Please God, let Kyle Burrows play.
Burrows back in.
And and then just kind of keep trying to build momentum, like, with what you have now. Like, both your goalies have won their last games.
Yeah.
Both have looked pretty solid.
And now Thatcher Demko's going to go on at least a 3-game without Spencer Martin coming in. I feel like he's earned that tonight.
He should. I imagine Demko's getting Vegas, Colorado, Vegas, and then you give Martin San Jose.
I agree.
So it'll, like always, it's an interesting week coming up for the Canucks. So let's just hope for more wins. Let's hope for no more hand grenade pairing.
More dubs, especially playing our first full 60 minutes. Let's just keep it going.
All right. So I think that'll wrap it up for this week's episode. If you like what you saw, subscribe for more at the Canuckleheads podcast on YouTube. We have a couple other videos too that aren't podcast related. We've done a couple jersey ranking videos, Canucks based and reverse retro based. Go check those out if you like. And let us know your opinions on them too if you do. Like, I love hearing what people think about the reverse retros. Like, if we ranked a jersey that you think is the best as trash, like if you're one of those weirdos that likes a Detroit Red Wings reverse retro, you can just leave. But we appreciate your comments. But and you can find the podcast on Apple and iTunes, the Canuckleheads podcast.
Another one in the bag.